Good evening, folks. This is what we're having for dinner tonight. It's beef tips on rice with onions and mushrooms. Here's the recipe, and we're going to get started cooking. Okay, the ingredients for tonight's dinner are salt and pepper, beef broth, all-purpose flour, Worcestershire sauce, 2 pounds of stew meat. I'm using pork tonight. We got some mushrooms that I chopped up, an onion, we're going to need some butter, a teaspoon of minced garlic, and some rice. And water to go with the rice, of course. But we're only going to make enough rice for us to enjoy. My husband likes his beef tips, or stew meat tips, whatever you want to call it, on mashed potatoes, so I'm going to make potatoes for him. Okay, so we're going to get started. Alright, to this pan I have added 1 cup of rice and 2 cups of water and about a teaspoon of salt. So I'm going to get cooking this because we're going to need that cooked rice. Alright, so we'll be back. Now to this pan I'm melting some butter. I've got 2 tablespoons of butter, and I'm going to melt those and I'll be right back. Okay, the butter's melted, so now we're going to go ahead and saute our mushrooms and our onions. And our garlic until they're good and tender, okay? We'll be back. Okay, our onions and mushrooms look pretty good, so we're going to go ahead and add our stew meat. Now we're going to season the stew meat with some salt and pepper. I'm going to go ahead and add our beef broth. And we're going to just add enough to cover this. Okay. I'll take it. And this was a 2-pound box of beef broth, okay? So now it's going to stew in this. All right, and we're going to be right back. All right, it's cooking pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and add some Worcestershire sauce. Okay, I'm just going to kind of sprinkle it around there until we feel like it's good. All right. There we go. Now I'm just going to go ahead and mix it up. There we are. We're going to let this stew some more until that meat is nice and tender. Alright, our meat is pretty tender, so we're going to go ahead and take out the solid stuff. That's the onions and the mushrooms and the meat, okay? And I'll be right back. Alright, I've removed most of the solids, so now we're going to go ahead, remove this juice and measure it out, and we'll be right back. Alright, I got about 2.5 cups. Now to this empty pan, I'm going to melt 2.5 tablespoons of butter. Alright, our butter is just about melted, as you can see. Now we're going to go ahead and add 2.5 tablespoons of flour. And we're going to mix that in with this whisk. And we're going to cook this A little bit. A couple minutes. Alright. Trying to get up some of that flour on the side there. It's not going to hurt anything if you don't get it all up, but it'd be nice to get it up. Okay. And we're just going to cook this a few minutes. It'll start drying out. Okay. Alright, as you can see, it is starting to dry out and brown a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and start adding our broth a little at a time. Okay, and we're just going to keep stirring it and cooking it. And then once it starts thickening too much, then we're going to add a little more broth. Now, this is not going to be totally chunk free because I do have some pieces of onion in it, okay? But it's going to be just about chunk free. Now, I'm going to add a little more broth. Now, if you will notice, I did not flour my meat pieces. I thought you don't really need to, but I used to. I don't do that anymore. There's just no need. You don't need those extra carbs. It comes out good just like this. Okay. See how it's starting to thicken pretty good? I'm going to add some more broth. I'm just going to dump the rest of it in there. Okay. Alright. There we go. Now I'm going to go ahead, let this thicken up just a little bit more, and I'm going to add the solid pieces, the meat and the mushrooms and the onion, okay? We'll be right back. Alright, as you can see, our gravy is really yummy looking. So this is about what you're looking for when you add your solid stuff back to this pan, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and add the solids. There we go. Now, mix it. Look at that. That's going to make a nice meat sauce on top of your rice. Or potatoes or noodles, whatever it is that you're using. Alright. And of course you'll want to taste for seasoning. If you want, you can add some more salt and pepper. And also another really good thing to add to this is that Montreal steak seasoning. That does make this taste delicious. But anyway, here it is. We're going to cook this just until it's heated through. Alright, and we'll be back to show you what it looks like. Alright, this is our perfectly cooked rice. See, I just want to show you. All you have to do is take a fork and kind of scrape over it. And there you go. you'll have nice fluffy rice. Alright, here is our yummy beef tips and our gravy. It's not really beef tips, it's pork, but we'll just call it stew meat and gravy, okay? I don't know. But it's the same way as I make beef tips and gravy. Okay, I'm going to put this on my rice. And we're going to go ahead and eat. Okay. There we go. And you just put it however much you want on there. Okay. There we are. Okay, that's how you make it. And add more salt and pepper if you like, or whatever. And that's it. We're going to go ahead and eat. Okay, you'll give this a try, and I hope you like it. And I hope you guys have a good night. God bless you.